I want niggas to see me for this shit, man. Yo, Still Bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, just dropped my daughter off at daycare. I'm heading to the plantation right now to grab my truck, man. But peep game though, man. We gotta conversate, man, because I'm not too much done with this subject. I'm not. I'm still a little bit aggravated by it. Not even a little bit, a lot of it. And I've been going back and forth with this nigga on my under the comments of my last video I made about Spence and Ugas. And one thing I don't really think y'all are grasping is what happens if Ugas actually beats this dude? Like, what then? Because from what I'm hearing, if he wins, that nigga has to go honor the mandatories. He has to go honor goddamn. He's going to be placed into that tournament, that 4-man tournament with Imantas and Butayev and the other two. He's going to be placed in that tournament. So I was looking in the now. We're not even going to get that Spence and Bud fight next year. We're not even going to get that fight. But let's stay on the subject of if he loses. Let's stay on that subject. If Spence loses to Ugas, y'all would have to eat crow, because a lot of you dudes are your entire mindset is indicative of if someone has an O under their O under their loss column. So what happens if he loses to Ugas? What happens if he loses to Ugas? Nobody is even looking in this man's direction. They just see him as a potential threat. Like, yeah, he has, but like how Porter was a threat to Bud. Like, he'll give him problems, and if he's having a really good night, he could beat him, as opposed to being like, yo, he might win this fight. Because like I said, you can't necessarily, like, triangle theories don't work 150%. They don't, but there is similarities between common opponents that you can pull from. Their common opponent is Sean Porter. And when you look at how they were able to deal with Sean Porter, now despite Ugas losing and Spence winning, you look at who had the tougher outing between the two of them. And Spence was never in a position of where he was able to push Sean Porter back. He was never able to do that. He was never able to hold the middle of the ring. He was never able to fight him at a comfortable distance that's conducive to his style. Ugas was. Ugas had an inside game and a mid-range game. Spence has a mid-range game. And he didn't have the footwork to offset Sean's forward progression and fast feet. Ugas didn't necessarily have the footwork to do it either, but it was how he handled him in the clinch. Ugas would plant his feet, rip a few body shots, and he was strong enough to push Porter back. Those little intangibles matter. Those little intangibles matter, because despite Earl Spence getting the knockdown on Sean Porter in the clinch, he's not a better inside fighter than Ugas is. Ugas is a lot more sleeker on the inside. He's a lot more savvy. He defends against, he has a tighter guard in the inside. He stays off of the line. He gets up under shots on the inside. He's still moving his head side to side on the inside. He can shift and cut angles on the inside. He was shifting and covering angles on the outside with Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao was trying to close distance on him. He was. So those little intangibles matter, and you have to take that shit into consideration. And people are so high up on Spence, the likelihood of him losing is just not there. It's like, yo, he can't lose. There's nobody who can beat him right now. There's nobody fucking with him right now. He's setting himself apart from everybody. And I'm like, how exactly? Like I said, I tried to say, I made a video, like, because I thought Spence would beat Manny Pacquiao. I said this a few times. I thought Spence would beat Manny Pacquiao, and I thought he was a bit more better than Ugas, until I started trying to unpack, like, well, what is it about, what stands out between Ugas and Spence? What does Spence have that stands out that Ugas doesn't have? And I really tried to unpack that and break that down, and I'm like, I can't really think of anything. They both have really good jabs. Spence is southpaw. Ugas has more intangibles, though. He has the better feet. He can fight at all three distances. He can. Spence can't do that. Spence can't do that. He can't. I'm not saying that Spence is going to lose the fight. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying it is a very close and competitive match. It's very close. For y'all to sit here and just be so certain that he's going to win. This is a very compelling matchup. And now what happens if he loses? What happens if Spence loses to Ugas? He's going to be, now he's going to want another title shot. So he's going to press on the gas to come and holler at Bud if that happens. Now he's going to be accusing Bud of running if that happens. You dig what I'm saying? We have to really take that into consideration. And like I said, I can't be mad at the fight because it's a unification battle with a competent opponent. We wouldn't be mad if Bud got a fight with Ugas. We honestly wouldn't be. Like, that would be dope. That's what's up. But it's still it's a manipulative maneuver. It's extremely deceptive, man, and dastardly, and they know it. There was no reason to pull this man from a mandated bout so he can get a unification bout. Like, no, there was no reason for that when you had another man who he's a network free agent and he has no fight lined up for him. That's a unification bout as well. There was no reason for you to pull not Spence, but Ugas out of a fight with Imantis. There was no reason for that. No reason whatsoever. When you could have got another title bout, like another unification bout. Ugas and Bud have one belt each. I don't want to hear that. Oh, I'm cleaning up my side of the street shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Because he was locked in already under contract. They wasn't easing up on him. I can only imagine the amount of money they had to put up to pull Ugas from that fight. And it'll come out eventually. It's gonna come out eventually. They probably gave him a career high payday to step aside. They probably gave him more money than what his market value is worth. Like, just think about how lame that is. Like, how, just down in the dirt, just desperate that is, bro. We're gonna give you the amount of money you never seen this bag in your life before. We're gonna get that shit to you. This shit is gonna be in your bank account. All you gotta do is say you'll step aside and let them fight. That's all you gotta do. There was no excuse for him to do this, man. And the fight that we have been wanting to see, that he's been talking about doing, is this fight. Now the narratives I'm hearing, it should be for undisputed. It doesn't have to be for undisputed. It doesn't have to be for undisputed. When he came up to the division, it wasn't for the thought of undisputed. Like, we gonna save this fight till last. That was never the no. Spence told that nigga, go get a belt and we can talk. And when he did that, it ain't been too much talking. So what happens if Spence actually loses to Ugas? Because he very much so can. Because Ugas has more layers to his game than Spence. So what happens? Where do y'all go from there? Because now, that are y'all gonna keep that same energy with the, as far as undefeated goes? Oh man, he trash, he lost to, or is it gonna be, oh man, he lost to Ugas? Ain't no shame in Ugas. Ain't no shame in Ugas. Even though y'all slandered and drugged Anthony Joshua through the mud for losing to Usyk. Where do we go? Like, what are we doing? Y'all really need to sit back and think about that. Because Spence this ain't no tune-up, and for that he gets admiration and saluted from me. Because he proved to be real on now. Like, I don't need no tune-up. Ugas ain't nobody's tune-up. He's nobody's tune-up, but he's not Bud either. He's not gonna present the same problems and resistance that he would have faced if he was in front of Bud. And nobody was ranting and raving for Ugas versus Spence fight. Nobody was talking about that shit like that. It's a good fight. Don't get it fucked up. It's a really good fight. It's a really good fight, but we know what it is, man. We won it. There was no other time than now to get that fight lined up. Now that Bud is no longer, he's not bound by the ESPN contract. Now he can go as he pleases. You would sit here and, instead of going to have to deal with that dude, you would pull a dude from a fucking mandated title bout. Like, that shit is just corny to me. And your fans just will not acknowledge what the fuck is going on. Like, this isn't chess, my nigga. Like, this isn't chess. That was checkers. It honestly was. But the thing is, you can hide behind the deception. You can hide behind the fact that you're saying this is a unification bout. This ain't no cherry pick. No one is saying it's a cherry pick. Ugas ain't no cherry pick. He's not a cherry pick. What we are saying is there was no excuse for you not to give us the fight that we have been asking for, that the public has been asking for years. Since before Bud was even in the division, before you was even a champion. You versus Ugas is a good match. No one can take that away from y'all, but you need to get, like, now is the time to start asking, what are you going to do if he loses? What are your options next? What are your options? There ain't no more shit. If he loses, are you gonna be cool if Bud decides he wants to pull rank on him? Y'all gonna make me go 80-20, 70-30. It's not funny no more, is it? Because he's in front of a live dog. Spence is not about to walk through Ugas. It's not gonna happen. This is a 50-50 fight. This is a fight where you like, man, I don't know. I ain't picking. When he went and he fought Sean Porter, I was like, yeah, I'm rooting for Porter, but I think Spence is going to win. And honestly, at that moment, that's when I realized that, yo, he's good, but he's not what they're making him out to be. He's honestly not. And to cope with that, they said, oh, man, he wanted to fight him like that. He outscored. Like, no, he didn't. So let's look into that. What happens if what happens if Earl Spence loses to Ugas? We're more than likely gonna see the best version of Ugas. Why? Because he knows he can't, unless he clearly and convincingly dominates Spence, which I don't think is gonna happen. But unless he's up against the machine. Spence at this moment is all they have. Spence at this moment, he's their last hope, because Gervonta Davis is just not. It's not happening with Davis. Not happening with the Charlos. It damn sure ain't happening with Wilder. So Spence is their last hope that they have for keeping that banner afloat. He's up against the machine, so he knows that, man, I can't win this fight on points. I have to take it out of the judges' hands, or take it out of their hands. Even if it goes 12, I got to knock this dude down a couple of times, or I just have to really, really, really separate myself between the two of us. I have to let it be known there's no way you scored that round for Spence. There's no way you scored that round for Spence. There's no way you scored that round for Spence. He has to do that. He's up against the machine, so he knows what it is. He knows what he knows what it is. And I think we gonna get a killer in there that night, man. So what happens once again if Spence loses? What happens if he loses? Because y'all by that time are gonna be begging for a bud fight. Y'all at that time are gonna be begging. Oh, he running, man. He running, man. Like, why wouldn't you want to take that fight with Spence? Your narrative is going to completely shift after the fact. Your narrative is going to shift if Spence loses the Ugas. But y'all really need to be looking into that and taking that shit into consideration, man. Because at this point in time, it's a very strong possibility that he can come up short in that fight against Ugas, because Ugas ain't nobody's tune-up. That's not gonna be an easy outing for Spence. And we damn sure know it ain't gonna be no easy outing for Ugas, just on the judges, on the judging aspect alone. And Spence is good already. He's good. Spence is good. He's a good fighter. But he got a fight in front of him. So what happens if he loses? I want to hear talking points, and because we're gonna be talking about this subject a lot. So what's gonna be the choices and the narrative if Spence loses the Ugas in March? Think about that.